Here we go with the arrow board. As you can see in my hand, I have an arrow board that is straight at the top, straight at the sides. And as I turn it, you can see that my arrow points the same way. This arrow board reminds me of the story that we have in Genesis. Do you remember? When God made the Garden of Eden, he put Adam in the garden and he said to Adam, "This is the way I want you to go, Adam. I want you to go this way because this is the correct way for you." Adam obeyed. And for many years he had a wonderful time in that garden, doing exactly what God had said. But in that garden, God also made it clear there was another way in which he could go, which would be the wrong way, which was disobedience. If Adam was to be obedient, he would live forever. If he was to be disobedient, then trouble would set in. Now I want you to watch my board, because there came a time when Adam got fed up with going God's way. And he really said, "I want to do my own thing." So his wife, "Why don't you?" They disobeyed. Notice, they were not going God's way anymore. They were going their own way. Now, that caused problems, because when you become disobedient to God, then the trouble starts. You go your own way, and in the end you finish up doing your own thing and not God's way, which, if you continue, the Bible says that will lead you to death. There is no way out, and that's exactly what happened. Adam was now under condemnation of sin. The wages of sin is death. But God, in his mercy and in his love, did not like to see Adam and the human race go down to hell forever. No, God wanted a way of escape, a way out in which man would live once again. And so the Bible says there is a way. There is a way in which God can take us from the doldrums and take us to life eternal. So watch this. If we go God's way, if we go our own way, if we go our own way, we end up in hell. If we go God's way, we end up in heaven. Thank you. Now, I hope you enjoyed this trick. It's a very simple trick, and if you was to look to the other side of my board, as you can see, it is a right angles. Can you see that? You never show your audience that, but that's what it is. How to do the trick? You keep the board upright, like this. You don't do that, and you don't do that. You keep it upright. You turn it round, and of course it appears the arrow is pointing the same way. Of course it isn't, remember? Now the change is important when you do this trick. You don't go like that and then turn it, because they would all know that it's a trick and they've worked it out. No. The way to do it is to notice that I kept pointing this way, and then I would point that way. And when they get used to that, all of a sudden there's the switch. Do you see that? And you point again, but I've made the switch. And now the arrow points the opposite way. Did you get that? I'm sure you did. And the same applies. Now the arrow is going right and left. I need to switch again. So now I start moving my hands and putting them back. Then I talk a bit more with my hands. It's always helpful. A big move covers a small move, and immediately I've done the switch. Do you see that? And now I've brought my hand down here, which enables me to keep the arrow pointing the opposite way all of the time. Got that? Now the arrow on the other side is pointing up. I want it to point down, so I gesture again. A big move covers a small move, and I hold the bottom and let it fall. The arrow now is pointing in the direct position I want it to point. Now I'm making gestures with my hand because I'm going to come back here and make the arrow point down all of the time. I need to make a change. Remember, a big move covers a small move. So a big move is what I need. I'm gesturing with my hands. I put the change. The change has happened. You see that? I'm still talking, but I've made the change. And now when I come back, I can turn the arrow and now it's pointing the opposite way.